Hello and welcome to another episode of Telling Everybody Everything. I'm in the podcast studio today with baby Holland Juliet, who is 6 weeks and just big enough for the carrier. She's loving it. She's thrilled to be a guest. It's a very special story time episode of Telling Everybody Everything this week because Andrew Johnston, my very good friend, let me tell you again about him, the man who produces the podcast. For those of you who don't know, we have been friends for 20 years, which, I mean, it's shocking to both of us that we can have friends for that length of time, as youthful and glowing and elastic and vibrant as we are. But yeah, we met on the comedy circuit in Canada and we remained good friends. Andrew lives in Los Angeles now and I live in the UK, but we stay in touch through the magic of technology. And Andrew has always been, I think, a really authentic voice in comedy. His socials are very funny as well. He is a self-starter, a producer, a hustler, and I like that about him. He puts on a lot of shows in Los Angeles, and I get to see him actually in January when I'm in Los Angeles doing my show at the Wilshire. I was calling it Wiltshire, but it's the Wilshire E-Bell Theatre, and you can get a link to those tickets in my Instagram bio or just search that theater on my name. I have a show there at 7 p.m. on January 29th. Anyway, Andrew has always been completely across like all of the best things that make me smile and make me laugh. Pop culture, celebrity culture. He introduced Violet to the film Troop Beverly Hills. If you've not seen it, see it. Without it, there would be no Legally Blonde. There would be no Clueless. Without Andrew, there would be no me. So today's episode is hugely inspired by a story that Andrew is desperate for me to tell. I feel like Andrew should have the rights to this story and make it into a film, and we will get into that shortly. But first, I'm going to get into the emails and go through what the Ryan Kutstra household got up to this week. So since we last spoke to you, we've just been working and we've been having a lot of dates still, Bobby and me. You will remember that we were on our way to Guys and Dolls, which was Violet's theatrical production with her castmates, and we loved it so much. Like, can I tell you though, that, I mean, it's a good thing I'm not a theater director because I would be ruthless. I would be cutting people left, right, and center. Some of them have it, and some of them, it could be taught. There's still time. And for me, when I'm watching a production, and I've been involved in amateur theater all of my life, I'm not saying that I would have been the kid where you'd point at me and be like, she's got it. Though I did play a lot of comedy roles and I played them with confidence. Was I the best singer? No. Was I the best actress, dancer? Definitely not. But I always had, I think, an element of reckless abandon that you need to stand out in these environments. And so many of the kids in this production were crazy talented. Like I would say, oh, that kid has quiet confidence on stage. He's calm. He's a great singer. Like, give him a record deal today. I would say that to some of them. Like a real recording artist voice as well, not just a musical theater voice. Like some of them just, wow, just had it. And others, because they're young, I think they do still take the stage with like a question mark. And watching the 3-hour production of Guys and Dolls, I realized, that's why acting classes make people cluck like chickens and do all the uncomfortable stuff that I didn't want to do when I was young and taking theater. I was like, this is stupid. This makes me look stupid. I think acting class is about getting over that fear of looking stupid, because as soon as that question mark leaves your face and you are performing with reckless abandon, like all of the confidence, then you become one of the most watchable performers. And like I said, there were so many of them. And for those who weren't totally confident on stage, like it could still come. It could still come if they wanted to. The following evening, we went to another production. It was the premiere of Tinsel Town. This is the Christmas film that's available from December 5th on Sky Cinema. I am in it. Jason Manford is very funny with Azim Chowdhury in it. Mawan Rizwan is in it. Danny Dyer, Rebel Wilson, Kiefer fucking Sutherland, and some adorable kids are in it. Am I forgetting anyone? Listen, Alice Eve, it was a really fun family Christmas film that I think people are going to love for generations. It explores pantomime, and there's been no film to do that yet. So if you love panto, if you love North Yorkshire, and if you love Kiefer Sutherland, which I know goes without saying you do, then go see the film. I hadn't seen it, and I had to walk the red carpet answering questions. I didn't know what to say. They were like, what do you love about it? I was like, well, I'm the star. I'm the star of this film is pretty much what I believe at this point. Nothing has led me to believe anything differently. I think the film's about me. I am in it straight from the start, and I'm wearing a lot of makeup. But Bobby assured me that he thinks I was wearing an amount of glam that was appropriate for my character. And then on the weekend, the Ryan Kutstra household went to Blue Water Shopping Center in Kent. Why, you might ask? Well, number one, I miss a mall, and it wasn't as busy as I thought it would be. And number two, they have this amazing Bluey installation there where you can meet Bingo and Bluey. You could do like family pics in this set that is a lot like their house. I mean, was it the kitchen or the barbecue area? Whatever it was. We did ice skating. You can watch episodes of Bluey in their cinema, get like special little prizes and things. It was very festive. I liked it a lot. And man, Fenna Grace, that girl, she is challenging day to day. We'll hear a small voice from another room that just says, say nothing. And that's how we know Fenna's about to emerge in some outfit and we're supposed to just not react. Fenna does amazing things all day, but if you react, she kicks off, and she has a anger management issue. She does have tantrums, but when Fenna loves something, she is all in. I mean, she was very happy just to follow these characters all over the mall, hold hands with the people from the BBC. She's like, yeah, I got this. She wanted to ice skate by herself. Fenna is a better ice skater than half of the people in the UK already. And she is not even 3 years old. And then there's Fred, who was very worried about interacting with the characters, but you know what? He still did it. We got some fun family photos, and it was a great day. All right, let's see what we have in the emails after that quick roundup of our week. Stepdaddy, ? Katherine, I love you and your pearls of wisdom. I'm 26 and a single mom to a 6-year-old. That is very young. It's been hard, but it has also been super chic. Correct. After a series of mostly terrible relationships, I've now met a guy in his early 30s, and I really like him. He's clever, hilarious, beautiful. It's going well. Although neither of us have dated anyone else since we met, I wanted to have a conversation about making things official. He said he wasn't ready to be a stepdad yet, but it's only been 4 months, so I feel this is okay for him to say. I wouldn't want him to jump straight into the stepdad role right now, even if he wanted to. I've been open about having a kid from the start, and he's always seemed comfortable with chatting about her. He does want kids someday, and I want more as well. And he says it's because he sees step-parenting as a serious undertaking that he doesn't want to jump into it. Both of us come from divorced families. I've had one step-parent that has never liked me, so I understand the importance of getting this right. My daughter has met 2 of my boyfriends before, but only as friends of mine. I just don't know how long we can date with him feeling this way. How many months or longer before it feels wrong that these aspects of my life aren't integrated? You are a very articulate 26-year-old, and you're very thoughtful, and I think that your emotional intelligence maybe was always that way, but has certainly been accelerated because you are a mom. So when you talk about aspects of your life being integrated, they're like grains of sand. You know, you can't pull them apart. You and your daughter are intertwined. You are not ever going to be this guy's girlfriend without being a mom. And that was something that was obvious to me back when I was dating. You can't go on trips like the other girls. You can't just join him without scheduling a babysitter in advance like the other girls. You can't do this, you can't do that. And likewise, like you can't have a relationship where, you know, and it sounds like he has honorable reasons, but you can't be putting this existence of your daughter on the back burner because she's part of your life. She's part of all of your life. And what I would say to you is that you can't have relationships that aren't serious. You can't entertain men who aren't willing and eager to get really serious really fast. And when you're of marrying age, which arguably maybe you guys during modern times aren't in that category. A lot of people certainly in their 20s and early 30s just are still dating. But fuck me, men will carry this on. He could do this for another 30 years and be like, oh, I'm 60, finally ready to have a baby, like the super vet. You're going to have to rewind to a different episode for that reference. But I think that you just need to make it clear, I'm not about casually dating. I know that you could probably do that if you were seeing a girl who didn't have a child, but you're not. She's part of me. I'm part of her. If you're of marrying mindset, it doesn't take that long to be sure. My mother would disagree. She'd be like, no, you need to live with someone or date them for 3 years before you know, or I think that is her 3-year rule. But I just feel look, I think you did the right thing by introducing friends. This is mom's friend. He's my friend. And you could do that for a little while. But when you know, you know. Bobby and I were married 9 months after we had a one-night stand. We're old as shit. I wasn't 26. I was 36. But I wouldn't wait for him to decide. He's the one who's I'm not ready to be a stepdad. It's are you ready for him to be your daughter's stepdad? Do you, under no uncertain terms, want to marry this guy and be with this guy for the rest of your life? If you know that, if that's deep down how you feel, and you know that pretty quickly, then you need to tell him that this is the way it's going to be, or he's out of your life. And if you still need more time to decide, then just keep him at arm's length like you did with all the other ones. This is not up to him, after all. This is up to you. You are her mother. You seem to share values with him. You don't want to have men in and out of your life, her life. You're both products of divorce, fine. But don't wait for him to decide, because I don't think that men, and again, I'm making a gross generalization, but I just don't think that they are equipped to make these decisions. You kind of got to decide for them and instruct them of the way forward. Duh. Ooh, we have a celebrity spotting here. Katherine, this is totally random, but I saw Romesh on a plane from Edmonton to Houston on a very early morning flight right after he did a show in Edmonton the night before. I have to thank you for the fact that I recognized him, because I started following your stand-up a few years ago and you introduced me to Romesh and how funny he is. I had to miss his show because we were flying out the very next morning and getting up at 4 a.m. I had to pack for a family of 4, but I saw him in the customs line and immediately I recognized him. Then I heard him speak and I knew for certain it was him. He ended up on our plane, and while we were way at the back with 2 kids, I was shocked that Romesh was not in the first few rows of the plane. It was a fairly small United flight. He was, however, seated at the front of the regular person seats. So please just tell him he needs a new assistant to book better flights. Romesh is a man of the people. I will tell him you said hi. One more. It is a marital problem. Katherine, I'm in a predicament. I've been married for 8 years and I've known my husband for 12. I met him shortly after I literally escaped my previous relationship with the clothes on my back. I'm having doubts about our marriage and I'm unhappy. We haven't been intimate for over 5 years. Shortly after my daughter was born, my mental health suffered and I was diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety, and depression. I was very resentful of my husband at the early years because he wasn't as involved with my child as he was supposed to be, and I ended up doing the majority of the work. Over the years, I've brushed a lot of the red flags under the carpet. I thought it didn't matter, and this included our intimacy, which I wasn't bothered about anyway. But now I feel differently. Everything he says and everything he does annoys me. He's a good man. He's an okay dad, but I wish he would do better. He's refused to go to couples therapy or personal therapy, and he's very happy for me to go, though, and address my anger issues. He wouldn't read any of the books I recommended for him or make any efforts for anything pertaining to me or our daughter. He's not a bad man, but he's so detached from his emotions that I'm fed up. I feel like I shouldn't have to live like this. Recently, I went back to work after being at home to raise our child, and I'm enjoying that far too much. I love the place, I love the people, and only last month I noticed, oh, here we go. I noticed someone at work. I really fancy him. I'm not sure he noticed me at all, but this has added to my confusion and making me wonder if I have the ick toward my husband because I fancy someone else or the other way around. Am I fantasizing about this man because I'm a stupid like a teenager and I haven't been touched in 5 years? I'm losing sleep and sanity. Whatever the outcome, I want what's best for myself and for my child. We can't afford a divorce. I don't know what to do or what I'm really asking and with regards for help here, but your insight is very appreciated. I mean, I think a lot of people find themselves in exactly this predicament where, first of all, it is nuts. Like, you are not in a romantic relationship with someone if you haven't had sex in 5 years. You're just not. Like, that is your flatmate, that's your friend, that's your co-parent. But if you mean to be in a marriage, and I'm not blaming you, but I believe that you need to have some form of intimacy. Like, that is part of the definition of that kind of relationship. So the fact, like, that alone, that he's like, you can go and sort that out. He's not reading any books. I mean, there are men out there, they're not brushing their teeth. And they're like, well, fuck me, so ma. I would say with almost certainty, maybe you don't care, he's probably seeing sex workers or doing something else. I think if you looked in his shit, you could probably find him cheating on you in some way. That might give you some leverage. It's the wrong thing to do, but I'm probably right. Because women seem to, again, I'm generalizing, be able to go for far longer without sex than men. And I know a lot of people who are cohabiting because they can't afford a divorce or they stay together for the kids, which is always a red flag to me as well. Because, all right, so either you're lying to me or you're lying to your kids. Like, you're still in bed with your wife and you're lying to me, or you are sleeping in another room and you think your kids are stupid and they don't feel that their parents' marriage isn't what it's supposed to be. You know what this world needs to invent? Is just like a cheaper way to do all of this. Like a more cost-effective living situation for people whose husbands give them the ick. Because guess what? I'm rich and even I can't afford to get divorced. I don't want to get divorced, but if I wanted to, I definitely couldn't afford it. I could not afford it at all. So then what would I do? Draw a line down the middle of the house in chalk, like on I Love Lucy? I think that's an I Love Lucy reference. Probably been referenced on 2.5 Men, I think, in other shows. Look, I know a lot of people are doing something called bird nesting, where the children stay in the family home and the parents take turns in the family home, and then they have a very small, affordable, like 1-bedroom or studio flat that they rent so that they can get space from each other. And to me, well, I would never want to be away from my kids, but if that had to be the arrangement, I love a small flat. Oh, it would be so clean. You could just have like lovely things in there and sleep by yourself in a tidy little bed and have a candle in there and just watch whatever you wanted to watch. Scroll on your phone without judgment. Have a break from like the housework. Bird nesting sounds pretty sweet to me. But back to you, I think you need to break up with this guy. It would be different if your husband was like, yeah, I've noticed these cracks in our relationship too. Let's both work on it. But resentment is what makes women stressed and old and ugly. It just robs your life from you. So if you could stay with this guy and not feel resentment toward him and just live your life and have your little bit on the side at work, I would say fine. But it sounds to me like you're entering a whole new phase of life. Once your child is over 5, they start going to school, you have autonomy, you're back at work, you're going to meet people. Like, this is a disaster waiting to happen. You're going to cheat on this guy and it's going to be explosive and he's going to make you the bad guy and alienate you from your child, be like, mom cheated, blah, 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 blah. So just don't do that. Do something first. And he's unwilling to work on it, so he's got to not be your husband anymore. I mean, he already isn't. And I bet he's cheating on you. All right, get yourself cozy for a story time. We love Andrew Johnston here at Telling Everybody Everything, and he never disappoints. So does he have an insight for us this week? Listeners of Telling Everybody Everything, welcome to the life and the loves of Livy. This is a story that has it all: infidelity, intrigue, power imbalances, politics, prose, fashion, and even felching. Yes, Holland, felching. If last week's deep dive into Epstein's micropenis was not enough of a gauntlet for your gag reflex, buckle up. What was that sound from you, Holland? Are you all right? Oh. This is the story of the truly bizarre love triangle between two star political journalists and a former American presidential candidate who may or may not still have a worm slowly feasting on his brain. I have to say before we get into this, it is all allegedly. The last thing I want to do at telling everybody everything is get sued by an American presidential candidate or any star political journalist. I don't want that in my life. I don't live in America. Go after Andrew, not after me. Here are the main players and who would play them in the inevitable torrid biopic. Olivia Nuzzi. So picture a younger Scarlett Johansson. Olivia was born on the auspicious date of January 6th, 1993, and made her name covering the first Trump administration for self-described, quote, high-end tabloid, The Daily Beast, in 2016, becoming one of the most famous political journalists in America when she was hired as New York Magazine Washington correspondent at the tender age of 24. So really clever girl, very young, looks like Scarlett Johansson. Next, Ryan Lisa. Picture a bespectacled Paul Rudd acting as smarmy and unlikable as he could muster. It's a longtime political journalist who spent over a decade at The New Yorker before being put on leave in 2017 due to, what else? Sexual misconduct allegations, and eventually landing at the self-described ESPN for Politics, Politico. That is Ryan Lisa. Previously married and divorced, Lisa got together with Nuzzi in 2018, and the two were engaged in 2022. Worth noting that Lisa is a cool 19 years Nuzzi's senior, which is on the low end of the May-December romances in Olivia's dating history, but much more on that to come. So she likes older men. Finally, RFK Jr. Picture an especially dehydrated Sean Penn. RFK is the renegade scion to the American Kennedy political dynasty, ran as an independent in the last U.S. election before dropping out and endorsing Donald Trump, who in turn appointed him as head quack in all the land to head the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. It's like the NHS if every service required crowdfunding or starting an OnlyFans to pay for it. It's been said that, quote, if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was a woman, he'd be in a conservatorship. And to that end, it's worth noting that he has a well-documented penchant for decapitating wildlife carcasses, from bears to whales. He enjoys swimming in creeks contaminated with sewage, and he was recently snapped on a flight returning from the bathroom barefoot. So some context for his decision-making here. All right, this is the timeline. Nuzzi met the 39 years her senior RFK Jr. while profiling him for a New York Magazine cover story in 2023, while she was still engaged to Lisa. And Kennedy was married to Curb Your Enthusiasm sweetheart Cheryl Hines, and he still is for now. Q2, September 2024, a bombshell report is leaked by a rival journalist revealing that Nuzzi had a, quote, personal affair with a political subject she'd been covering, who was easily found out to be RFK. At one point, a person with direct knowledge of the matter told CNN that the relationship was, quote, emotional and digital in nature, not physical. What does that mean? She's getting fingered? With the prevailing narrative being that Nuzzi and RFK reportedly had some enthusiastic FaceTime sex and traded nudes. FaceTime sex, guys. Discuss. That is still cheating. I mean, what would I do if Bobby was having FaceTime sex with Carol Thatcher? I would freak the fuck out. I think any level of digital, and this is what's annoying. They go, well, no, it wasn't an affair. It was just like a digital and emotional affair. Well, Bobby and I are in a digital and emotional relationship at the minute. We text, usually pictures of like what the kids have left in the potty. We text from upstairs to downstairs. We're emotionally very much in love. It's cheating. It's cheating all the way. For the quite cardinal journalistic sin of mixing business and pleasure with a subject, particularly a political subject for whom biased coverage could have very real and widespread outcomes, she was put on leave and officially parted ways with New York Mag a month later. The day after the story broke, a thoroughly cucked Liza announced the end of their engagement. A few days later, she asked a court to issue a restraining order against him. In her filing, Newsy accused Liza of trying to blackmail her into staying in the relationship through hacking her devices, spying on her, and threatening to release information that would destroy her career. That does not surprise me. I have known men like that. Liza denied the details in the court filing, accusing Newsy of, quote, shamelessly using litigation as a public relations strategy. Newsy withdrew the application for a restraining order shortly before a court hearing at which, according to Liza, she knew her lies would be exposed. Gulp. Well, it seems as though Miss Olivia was banished to the sea, as no one had seen nor heard of her until this past September when, surprised, she was announced as the West Coast editor for Vanity Fair, and she was releasing a book, a memoir detailing her bizarro romance with Kennedy, among other things, called American Canto, and sat for a glammed-up profile in the New York Times in which she admits, I had a healthy appreciation for the fact that what had happened was not purely a tragedy. A+ for honesty. The piece, titled Olivia Newsy Did It All for Love, premiered online with a giant looping video of Newsy driving a Mustang convertible in Celine sunglasses with writer Jacob Bernstein, son of Watergate icon Carl Bernstein and rom-com maven Nora Ephron, described her as a Lana Del Rey song come to life. Okay. A few days after the profile, Newsy's first book excerpt appeared in Vanity Fair, which, as per the Times profile she apparently typed most of on her phone while hiking in Malibu, here are just a few of the passages making Virginia Woolf twirl with jealousy in her grave. He desired desiring. He desired being desired. He desired desire itself. I would take a bullet for you, the politician said. He always said that. Please don't say that, I said. From his mouth, the bullet theoretical launched the bullet possible. Oh, from his mouth, the bullet theoretical launched the bullet possible. Great writing. Some other revelations and musings from Newsy's book. Her favorite part of RFK's body was his nose and eyes she described as blue as the flame. His favorite body part of hers, her mouth, much more of that to come. She gushed in the book that he was so sensitive that, quote, the sight of something as trivial as a rose could bring him to tears. She didn't care about their age gap because they shared, quote, common language, common skepticisms, common ideas about what was beautiful, common beliefs about what was valuable. When news of their sexting affair broke, Kennedy apparently told her, if it's just sex, I can survive it, in reference to his political career. And to that end, she might have a point when she writes, a politician's greatest trick is to convince you that he is not one. And what is a politician? Any man who wants to be loved more than the other men, and through his pursuit reveals why he cannot love himself. Okay. It is a very rare occurrence when a woman fails upwards. I do like it. This has been, it could have been a slut-shamey blight on her career. She lost her job. But women historically, fucking the Kennedys, works out well for them until it doesn't. I mean, I was going to cite Marilyn Monroe as an example, but then, it works out well for a bit, and I hope she can parlay this into continued success. Well, you know what they say. Hell hath no fury like a journalist cucked, because the same day her book excerpts dropped, Ryan Liza took to his Substack, where he released part 1 of a series entitled How I Found Out. Of the 3 parts he's currently released, here are some of the jaw-dropping revelations and reactions. The most damning allegation is that she secretly helped RFK's campaign by writing strategy memos, burying damaging stories through catch-and-kill tactics and other ethical breaches, actions that, if true, would make Olivia permanently unfit to work in journalism. RFK wasn't the only politician she apparently fucked with. Lisa claims that Olivia cozied up to Mark Sanford, a South Carolina Republican who attempted to primary Trump in the 2020 election. Lisa claims to have discovered a mock tabloid-style story she wrote detailing her affair with Sanford that fantasized about the tryst being exposed, in which she described herself as a blonde beauty who, quote, gained critical acclaim as a skilled profile writer. Lisa claims he learned this not by hacking her devices, but because the papers fell out of her backpack. Okay. This bit may be of interest. When she was still a college undergrad, this Olivia was in a relationship with the 55-year-old ESPN and MSNBC host Keith Olbermann, who, according to her, Lisa paid for her to attend college. Oh no, according to Lisa, outfitted her in Tom Ford and Hervé Leger dresses and some 15 grand worth of Cartier jewelry. And he covered her rent. For his part, Keith happily confirmed it, tweeting, yeah, Olivia and I lived together for 4 years. That's like, 4 birthdays, 4 Christmases, 4 anniversaries. That's like $1,250 of jewelry per celebration. And her apartment was a studio. And I made an F-ton then. What was I supposed to do? Get her gift certificates from Kmart? This woman knows how to date. Lisa wrote that Newsy, quote, loved crazy people, which should have been a red flag for him after she divulged that RFK was nuts and that she developed a near total obsession with him that manifested in her reading 2 books simultaneously that Lisa admits should have also sounded alarms. These books were The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene and Ask Not, The Kennedys and the Women They Destroyed. I mean, I like this chick more and more. I like that she's cheated on this creep. I like that she has upward mobility. Yes, she dates old men, but they're like crazy old men who admit to spending money on her. The most eye-popping revelation, however, had to do with the F word, and you guessed it, felching. Lisa claimed that he only learned the term after combing through salacious text messages to Newsy saying, thanks to Bobby, RFK, I'm now aware of something called felching. For the uninitiated, felching is the term used for when one sexual partner sucks semen out of another partner's anus or vag following unprotected penetrative sex. I mean, even I didn't know that. I'm learning that now. According to the American National Institute of Health, which is ironically currently led by RFK himself. Oh, so maybe he authorized that lovely definition. Although Lisa doesn't spell out the context, we can assure it was part of this poem RFK wrote to Newsy he intercepted in their texts, or maybe it fell out of her backpack again. Okay, so to quote the great bard R. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your open mouth awaiting my harvest, drink from me, love. I mean to squeeze your cheeks to force open your mouth. I'll hold your nose as you look up at me to encourage you to swallow. Don't spill a drop. I am a river. You are my canyon. I mean to flow through you. I mean to subdue and tame you, my love. And they say romance is dead. Finally, the part of the story we are especially gagged about, something so scandalous and shameful that even Lisa, for all his spite and scorn, would not reveal. Something that internet sleuths dug up from Olivia's past that she has never dreamed would see the light of day, and it is her old MySpace page. That's right, back in the bad old days of the internet, Olivia Newsy had dreams of pop stardom in the vein of Blackout era Britney or Stars Are Blind era Paris, going under the pop moniker Livy. The lone musical offering streaming on her artist page is called Jailbait, an insipidly reductive piece of late noughties dance pop that sounds like an AI music production bot was given the prompt, Lady Gaga's Poker Face, but about statutory assault. Listen to this.
Jailbait, I'm jailbait. You try to stay away, but you can't obey. Jailbait, I'm jailbait. You look but you can't play, 'cause I'm jailbait. Jailbait, they call me jailbait. Jailbait, they call me jailbait.
This is what we were doing. This is how we were using our MySpace pages. During the Blackout Britney era, we were making songs about ourselves called Jailbait. We were. About Livy. So this is her artist profile description on her Begone MySpace page. The day that Madonna released Erotica, the day that Andy Warhol made his first film, the day that Freddie Mercury sang his last note, the day Julie Garland conceived Liza Minnelli, the day Britney told you to hit it one more time, the day Cher first met a sequin, blah, 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 blah. That was the day that Livy was born. Livy is the future and Livy is the past, preparing to dominate the world and show you the way a pop object lives. Livy has no off switch, and life is a performance in her eyes. This 16-year-old singer-songwriter plans to invade your consciousness with her killer pop hooks and become the center of your world. According to a spokesperson for Newsy, this was a satirical prank from when Olivia was a child actor and was never meant to be taken seriously. I mean, that is kind of what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, it's so far that it's almost unbelievable, but it is kind of like who we all secretly hoped to be. We were all a bunch of jailbaity, skanky little Livies running around. The thing that makes it more real, though, unbelievable as satire, is she's still acting like this. So Andrew and I think everyone kind of in our friendship group had a mutual, I won't say friend, it was like a frenemy. This woman she was very strange. She had a strange onstage persona. She had a strange problem with me. Accused me of copying her all the time. Not copying her material, but just copying her like essence, because she was girly. I was girly at a time when I think a lot of stand-ups weren't, but she did it in a whole different way. And then she went on to do a lot of like absolutely mad shit that I won't get into because I don't want to identify her, but she was wild. And she got quite big, kind of has a following for like her batshit crazy stuff, and more power to her. Like she's not hurting me. She's not hurting anyone as far as I'm concerned. Great. But if you look at her comments, if someone mocks her, then her response is something to the effect of, oh, it was a joke. But if you respond positively, she's like, thanks, I'm headed in a new direction. I want to express my truth, hearts. So I think that's a good stance. If you want to be a crazy lady, whether you are this Olivia Newsy woman trying to claw her career back after what happened, good for her. Then you say the people who make fun of you, it's satire, I was joking. And then the people who love you, you go, yeah, this is what I've been doing. What a crazy time. I didn't think that a young woman born in 1993, like 10 years younger than us, was still infected by this like Britney jailbait MySpace style. The thing with me is a lot of my behaviors exist in a place between pride and shame. So I used to write music too. And I was kind of pre-YouTube, pre-MySpace in high school. But if I wasn't, I would have uploaded it all. Like certainly when I was 16, all the mistakes I made were pretty private, apart from everyone at the school finding out about it. But I wrote a song about Bobby breaking up with me, and I sang that for everyone all the time. I would sit down at a piano or find a guitar at a party as the original Taylor Swift, and I would perform it, and I did perform it on our reality show. And it goes, I was naive enough to believe all of that stuff that you told me, that you loved me and that no one was above me. I guess it wasn't true, and now I want to say to you, now that we're through, I won't yell because I'm holding the baby, fuck you, fuck you, fuck everything and everyone you do. So many boys are funner than you. I'm so over you, not under you anymore. Like before, I'm not your whore, nah, no more. Therefore, never, ever, ever. I hope you burn in hell forever. Never, ever, fuck with me again. The end. But I had like different verses. I would sing that all the time. I had like, what was my other song? I had so many songs. Like, power to this woman. I don't know if the world means to shame her for her behavior. Like, I think the worst part of this was definitely the poem written by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I wonder if Bobby's driving right now. I could tell him about this poem. Oh, Bobby said Fred just got in trouble because he's been putting squash in his water at school. Oh, Bobby.
Hello?
Hello. Would you like to be a guest on the podcast for a minute?
Sure, I just ran out of the school because they don't have reception in there. What's up?
Well, it's good that you're not in the school because
I was afraid as well, yeah.
Are you worried? Are you aware of RFK Jr.'s relationship with this Olivia Newsy writer?
Oh, no. If you said something about it, I probably would ring a bell, yeah.
Well, she was dating another journalist who seems like a piece of shit, and then she did a profile on RFK Jr., and then their affair broke, and they tried to be like, oh, well, it's just a digital emotional affair because they were FaceTime sexing, and I wanted to read you this poem he wrote her.
How long ago was this?
Not that long ago.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this was found by her boyfriend who she cheated on him with RFK. This is a poem he wrote to Newsy. Your open mouth awaiting my harvest. Drink from me, love. I mean to squeeze your cheeks, to force open your mouth. I'll hold your nose as you look up at me to encourage you to swallow. Don't spill a drop. I am a river. You are my canyon. I mean to flow through you. I mean to subdue and tame you, my love.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Is that real?
Yeah, it's real.
Holy hell.
That's your guy.
Well, no, it's not my guy anymore.
You don't like him?
No, I like anyone that's kind of different, but this is too different for me. I'll have to check out now.
All right. Well, I love you. I just wanted to see how the school run was going.
Well, I'm waiting for Fred to finish his rehearsal, so I'm just kind of chilling.
Aw. Fenna's going to be
But,
pissed.
Yeah, well, that's an exciting piece of literature, and I hope more is to come.
Andrew's done a whole deep dive.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. I heard something about something, but I thought it was from back in the day because he's like a former like crackhead as well. But anyway.
Nope. This is like post 2022.
Holy hell.
All right. Well, I love you. I'll see you at
All
home.
right.
Bye.
All right, love you. Bye.
There you have it. Thank you for listening to another episode of Telling Everybody Everything. My special comes out this week on Sky. You can also watch, or maybe it's next week. Yeah, it's probably next week. And you can watch, I think it's December 8th, my special maybe comes out. Yep. And you can watch Tinsel Town on Sky Cinema from December 5th. And I have a gig tonight in Dartford if you're going to it. Other than that, I'm laying low, I guess. See you soon. Please look after each other. Bye.